my next question, some of it you touched on a bit earlier, but in the wake of Friday night, certainly fans will go to a very soul-searching, start zooming out, start asking bigger questions. I try not to go there because I feel like when you go there, you're kind of going to a dark place sometimes, but sometimes I feel like you need to do that. And I wondered for you, what is the balance between that kind of zooming out or staying kind of process focused and trying not to go to that dark place? Or is it useful to do that? Like, when is it useful to do that? When does that line come when you ask those kind of bigger questions about team progress and everything like that? Because the season hasn't really gone, I think, the way that Arsenal would have wanted so far. So at what point is there like a line where you kind of think, okay, this is a time to kind of ask questions, or do you deliberately try not to go there just yet?
I think that's a very good question to begin with, and I think it's one of the challenges that you have all the time, because and I understand that when the performance and the results are not good as supporters, that you tend to go to that place. As a coach, you do the same, and as a player, we do the same as well. And I think it's a very human thing for the mind to drift like that, because you're naturally very disappointed about what is happening, and you're in something that you're investing a lot of your emotions into. And then you have I wouldn't say problem, but the situation where you have a long time between the games, which sort of can allow your mind to drift there a longer time than usual before you need to prepare for the next opponent. I think it's important to try and stay as constructive as possible, and now I'm just talking from my side, of course, to do that, and to always be very mindful and say, like, what can we control in this? Am I putting my focus on where we can control the things? What things do we need to do short term, and what things do we need to do long term as well? And that, if you say evaluation process in changing things long term, I don't believe that you just put your head down in the sand and you continue to work during the season, and then you have this big review process after the season and be like, what was good, what was going wrong, what do we potentially need to change for the next season? Like, I think that's a continuous thing. And if I would compare it to like a plane crash, sometimes is to say, like, what usually leads to the plane crashing might be a very, very tiny detail for it, but you need to go through all the processes and all the details in order to find, like, okay, there was an oil leakage here, for example, and how do we fix that for next time? So it's usually the things that you need to oversee and you need to fix does not necessarily need to be the biggest ones. It might be one detail, but the effect that detail has is a big one. And that's a responsibility for me and the organization to find that. And I think our season so far, I think it's been a very inconsistent one. It's been a very inconsistent season. I think where you can see progress has been at individual games and individual periods of the seasons, where I think we have shown that we are a very, very capable football team, playing some really good football and being able to compete and beat all our competitors. But what we haven't been able to show is that we are a team that are doing that consistently and are able to perform on that standard consistently. And that's disappointing. And that's really where I hope where we could get with this team. Are there reasons for why we're not there? Yeah, of course there are some reasons to it. I think we're in a season where we're still changing a lot with players coming in and building new relationships on the team. I think that's part of it where we find some inconsistencies for it, but it's not the whole truth of it. And it's not like you see other teams always having the perfect selection of players to choose from and that they can't keep consistency in their performances. So I think that's a part where we need to improve and we need to do that better. But I'm not waiting till the end of the season to try and find the reasons why we have been inconsistent. Like, that's an ongoing process, and we need to work with that. Yeah, I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, it was a big question. It was a big answer.
That's probably a fair summary of it.